All right, hey guys, today we're going to learn how to factor trinomials. We did it in class with the algebra tiles and the box method, and today I just want to recap and then also teach you some kind of trickier ones. So just a little review. We can skip this part for now and do straight to here. Now there's a big typo. Can you guys fix this problem here? It should be 3x squared minus 14x minus 5, not 15. So please fix that right away. Okay, so to factor a trinomial, fill in the first and last terms in the boxes. So if we know the answer has a 3x squared, that goes here. And if we know that all the single squares add up to -5, that goes here. And now we're looking for the x bars here. We're looking for these guys. And remember, the way to find it is to calculate your MA. Okay, so we need to multiply and add to what? Well, we need to add to the middle. So the add should be -14. The multiply is the product of the first and last term. So 3 times -5 is -15. Okay, so what are those two numbers? What are two numbers that multiply to -15 but add to -14? And hopefully you guys are thinking that it's -15 and 1. Does everyone agree with that? Those are two numbers that multiply to -15 but add to -14. All right, we're going to put those in, and it doesn't really matter where you put them, but they both get an x because those are representing the x bars. Okay, so we already did this and this. Now find the greatest common factors of each row and column. Okay, so the GCF of this column out of 1x and -5 is just 1. The GCF of this column out of 3 and -15 is 3, and they both have an x. And then out of this row, the GCF of 3 and 1 is 1, and they both have an x. And out of this row, remember, if the first one is negative, you need a negative. And out of 15 and 5, the GCF is 5. And then if you put those together, that's the answer. It's 3x plus 1 times 1x minus 5. All right, this is one way to factor trinomials. I will show you guys more ways too if you don't like this method, but to be honest, they're not really any easier. All right, let's try some more kind of different types. So let's do number 3. No, that one's so similar. Let's do number 1. All right, so let's make our box. Okay, so the first term goes in the top left box, and the last term goes in the bottom right box. Now, we need to find the x term here and here, and we find it by making the MA table. So we need to find two numbers that add to the middle, -7, but multiply to the product of 2 and 3, and 2 times 3 is 6. So can you guys find two numbers that multiply to 6 but add to -7? And it ends up being -6 and -1. Okay, order doesn't matter, but give them both an x. So -6x and -1x. All right, now we GCF. The GCF of these guys, well, if the first one's negative, it's got to be negative. And then 1 and 3 have nothing in common but 1. No x in common. Now these guys, they both divide by 2, and they both have an x. Now these guys going this way, 2 and 1 is just 1, but they both have an x. And then these guys, the front is negative, so you got to plot a negative. And then 6 and 3, the GCF is 3, no x. All right, put them together, that's your answer. It's 2x minus 1 times 1x minus 3. And you don't have to write this 1. All right, that's it. Now let's do one more that it maybe looks a little bit different. Number 4. What do you do if there's only 2 terms? Well, if you notice, usually there's a squared and then a single and then no x. So this one, we got the squared and we got the no variable, but we're missing the single. So whenever this happens, I would just put a 0 there. Rewrite it so you have 3 terms, and then the middle term is just a 0. And now we can do the box. So the box only works when you have 3 terms. So just put a 0 for the third term, and then it's the same thing. Okay, the first term goes here. The last term goes here. And now we need to do a little bit of work to find these guys. All right, so MA table. We got to find 2 numbers that add to the middle, so 0, but multiply to 4 times negative 9, and that's negative 36. So what are 2 numbers that multiply to negative 36 but add to 0? And that's going to be positive 6 and negative 6. All right, put them in. Give them both t's because they represent the middle. And now we're good to go, GCF. All right, so the GCF of 6 and 9 is 3, no t. The GCF of 4 and 6 is 2, and they both have a t. The GCF of 4 and 6 again is 2, and they both have a t. And then this one, since the front one is negative, you do pull out a negative. And 6 and 9, we pull out a 3. No t. And then we're done. Factors are 2t plus 3 times 2t minus 3. All right, nice job, guys. We're going to practice this all class period tomorrow. Thanks for watching.